Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Rolfe. I'm Chief Technologist for Lenovo UK and Ireland. I'm here with my best buddy and colleague, Graham Thomas. And we are here today at the Bet Show 2025. It's the last day and these seats are very comfortable, aren't they?
They are, they're a welcome break, aren't they?
You can't escape that there's a big heavy, within particularly the IT manufacturers. There's certain themes throughout the Bet Show, robotics being one and STEM obviously, but within the IT manufacturers and the IT community, AI is a real theme, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's when sort of people look at AI and say, what's the application? What's the application of an AI PC? It's certainly in the last 3 days have demonstrated it's education. You know, it's a tool. Yeah. When you look at it as purely as there's a tool that can do things for you. And if there's a tool that can do things for you, it's going to give you time back. And teachers, there aren't enough hours in the day. They've got a full day of teaching and then they've got all their curriculum plan and the marking and things like that. So you see so much activity over the last 3 days around solutions to help with that, as well as AI to help, actually for the student. But you can see there's a real buzz of the applications for the teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's interesting, isn't it? So if you think of AI and what it can do and all that, it's such a wide area, isn't it? It's been, it's huge from the data center all the way to our new AI enabled devices, client devices we call them, so laptops and tablets and so on. But if you think about AI, obviously, I don't think you could pick a vertical or an area where it won't help, it won't speed processes up and give people a competitive advantage. But the two that always spring to mind at the top of the list is education and healthcare, where it can really save time.
Yeah, no, you said you pick a vertical. Well, I was talking to a Magic Circle law firm a few weeks ago, and he sort of said, well, it could read the contracts and give you a summary. And they're like, well, we've got people who do that. But the moment you speak to a teacher and say, this can help with a lesson plan, immediately that's what I need. It's not but that's my job, that's what I do. It's I could do with that help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's really interesting seeing this pan out over the last couple of years. The classic, but still very, very relevant Gartner curve. I'd really like it. So you get the peak of enlightenment, the hype phase, and then the trough of disillusionment, and so on. But we saw this hype phase, and I think it really captured the ChatGPT and other large language models are available, but it really caught the sort of imagination of the public. And then, we expected it's going to do everything and save the world in, a few months. And of course it didn't, because, this is day one really, isn't it? It's going to take its time, but we're now starting to see real tangible benefits from AI running locally as well as in the cloud, aren't we?
Yeah, with the announcement that Microsoft made with Spark.
Yes.
And the demonstrations of that sort of showing, right, I need to prepare a lesson on this subject with this curriculum information for this level of sort of child's progress or attainment, and there it is, and that's locally on the device. Yeah. That's the bit. That's your PC did that, and I think that's a real sort of groundbreaking moment, because, like you say, there are cloud-based things and people have been toying with things and testing it, but this isn't actual. It's a product, it's an offering, it's there, and you can use it, and people see it. Lots of demonstrations and hype around it because it's designed for what it can do, and it's showing it can deliver.
And there were two elements to that I really like. The first, I guess, is that you're right. There's nothing worse than staring at a blank sheet and thinking, I've got to come up with a class plan or anything really. Starting with a blank sheet is very difficult. And we're not saying the Project Spots is going to do everything, but it will give you so much. It will save so much time. And the other great thing is, we're realistic. We've got such a great selection of products out there at the Bet Show that are very much cost engineered specifically for education. In fact, education is the only sector where we design products specifically for that sector. If you think about the rest of our range, they're more sort of general products that would go into, healthcare, blue light, enterprise and so on. But these are very much focused on education, so they're very, very low cost, and we understand, of course, that cost is king here. So with the Project Sparks, with running that, you just need it on the teachers' PCs.
That's
the
right.
AI.
Yeah. So you've got the NPU, the neural processing unit, and the benchmark speed for NPUs is TOPS, trillion operations per second. So to have Copilot Plus, or what we call next gen AI PCs, you need over 40 tops.
Yeah.
Now to put that into context, if you printed every operation out on a sheet of A4, 40 tops would go to the moon and back 14 times. So that's what these devices can do a second, and that's the speed you need. Now, typically that used to be high-end workstation, big crates. This is laptops, we've got an under a kilo laptop that can do this. But the great thing with Spark, and also some of the other AI, some education solutions out there, it's the content creation device, the teacher's device in this case, that needs it, but it's the student device, can be any device.
Yeah.
So we're not saying everyone has to have a iPad, we're not saying like key stage 1 children need a neural processing unit. It's just the staff devices.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, the other good thing that running it locally, because of course, for a while now, we've been able to run workloads like this in the cloud, but of course running locally, it means, well, it's faster, you don't have the latency of going to the cloud and back, you don't have to pay to go to the cloud and back, but also the data stays with you. It's not used to train someone else's AI model.
And that's obviously, particularly when you're dealing with data of children. I mean, the school where I'm a safeguarding governor, we're always concerned about some of the applications we use are in the cloud, some of the applications are local, but if we could just have everything local, everything we do, we've removed that element of risk. And obviously we're still using trusted partners for our cloud-based stuff, but it's still just that element of that slight lack of control. And when you look at K-12 institutions are the biggest target for cyber attacks. You sort of think, there's denial of service at government agencies, or someone tried to take out a social media site. It's something like 300% higher. Not exact figures, please don't quote me, but it's an astronomical number of the amount more that K-12 institutions are targeted. And I just think it's probably because people see them as an easy target because they don't necessarily have a full-time IT lead. It might be a teacher who's helping out if you've got a small single form entry school. So, but it's just, that's always a concern, and that's something that's always audited and things. So the more you can have local on-prem, the better. But the other thing about AI in the cloud is it's not the green way to do it. AI in the cloud is big data centers crunching everything. Even if you're giving it a simple question to get a simple answer, it's still a big operation. But if you're doing it on your laptop with a 45 watt power supply,
and it is super efficient. And you're right, actually. I think some of the cloud processing for AI is now representing quite a large percentage relatively of the world's energy use.
What I heard there isn't enough computing power in the world for us all to be playing with AI, let alone really, if we all wanted to sort of generate a sort of funny image or something like that, there just isn't enough computing power. But someone also told me another thing, that basically when my children go onto an AI app and generate a silly cartoon image of chinchillas with baseball bats or something like that, it's the equivalent of boiling a kettle somewhere. That's really I know, and they're doing sort of 10 of those a day, and I'm sort of stop it, but for them to do that locally, I mean, they do end up doing more than 10 a day, but ultimately what's seen as like a little joke, a bit of fun, is environmentally damaging.
And it is super, super efficient on the local MPU, isn't it? And actually that's an interesting point, because I think that even if you're fed up with AI, you don't care, you don't want to know about AI, but it's coming to a laptop near you. It's I think Gartner said by 2026, something like 70% of laptops will have AI capability of some sort. So it is coming. And I very much expect, today, like I say, it's day one, and I know I keep saying this, but it's changing so rapidly. This is literally the fourth industrial revolution. We've never seen such rapid change, such a big shift in the IT market. If we're not investing in AI today and keeping a laptop for, say, 4 or 5 years, what's it going to be like in 2 years? If there's going to be all sorts of things happening. And I expect devices running Windows 11 we'll start seeing battery lives getting longer on these devices, because Windows gets more and more intelligent and putting certain workflows into the MPU where it runs at a much more efficient basis.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I know this is something we both know at Lenovo, the focus of being able to have everything from Pocket, being our Motorola handsets, to cloud and with our Edge and HPC tablets, but everything in our product offering has consideration for AI. Even if the hardware's not there, it's little things like having better microphones in the tablets. So if someone wants to use a translation tool with real audio, it could be cloud-based, but the microphone's there to pick it up. And we don't want to have people sort of buying devices, particularly this year, that are already irrelevant next year. So that consideration, and the great thing is, and I was talking at an event last night, we've been working with AI for a long time. Although it seems a relatively new thing for the user to have in front of them, our pedigree from high performance computing in the data center, we've already got people who know what they're doing. And was it 25% of our employees are involved with research?
Yeah, 1 in 4 Lenovo employees are involved in R&D, and which is phenomenal. And we made the investment $2.2 billion into research centres, and we're voted the #1 place to work for AI and robotics, which is incredible, really, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and I think that's it for a lot of people. This this is new. What do I do with it? And there's other hardware vendors out there. It's new for them. What do they do with it? Well, we've already got the pedigree, the expertise, and the network of solution providers to help navigate people through what they can do with AI.
Yes, I saw that. We have 55, I think, at the moment, 55, 56 partners for AI-based solutions with over 165 products and services we can bring to bear. So, we're doing a lot in that regard. I think in terms going back to the actual the AI on the laptops themselves, I saw recently. So you mentioned security, obviously really important. One of the main security software vendors has now got an app that will monitor audio, and it'll warn you if it's a deep fake, or look at AI images and it knows if it's AI generated. And I think that's really important. If you can get something like that running on the NPU, so it's basically using next to zero power, running really efficiently in the background. Because we all know what laptops are like. If you load up an image with tons of things running in the background, it sort of grinds to a halt. So to have this running on the NPU, but to warn you of deep fake content or AI generated content, it's really, really useful, I think, and will be more and more as time goes on.
Yeah, and it's those little, that's why the NPU is brilliant at performing lots of small tasks, like our own brain does. While we're talking here, our organs I think they're all functioning, my heart's still working, but all of these little things. And if you tried to use a big CPU to do that, it's inefficient. It wants to do big tasks. To use a regular CPU to do sort of tiny things. And that's why when you look at things like Teams, when you do background blurring or trying to have lighting compensation, you're asking a CPU to clean up every frame. And you don't have to go back that far with people like Pixar and things like that, sort of taking them in 1080p, sort of 4 hours a frame in a massive server farm. And we're expecting our PC to be able to do background blur in 20 frames per second. Well, no wonder it impacts battery life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all of a sudden the NPU does that repetitive task very quickly, and it's massively efficient at it. So, and as more devices, particularly this year, when we see what Intel, AMD, and Qualcomm are doing, particularly these NPUs will become mainstream, then all of the software vendors are going to write applications to take advantage of it.
Well, that's always been the way, isn't it? You if you build it, they'll come. You sort of create the hardware, and then the code comes afterwards, and the killer apps and everything. But it's going back to your point on the architecture. It's great to see the next generation of architecture come out, and all of these AI processors have got stellar battery life and stellar performance. But on a particular shout out to the Intel products, the Lenovo Aura laptops that we have at the front, and we're showing one of those as the teachers of MPU powered generator for Project Sparks. So we have the X9 with 14-inch and the 15-inch. 15.4. It's only a little bit bigger than 14. Which is, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be my new work PC because it's awesome, and they're lighter than their competitors' similar shiny laptops, and they're more powerful, and the screens are gorgeous, and
they've got proper ports on them.
They've got proper ports.
Yes.
Yeah, the 15 has got USB-A, 2 USB-C, one on each side, HDMI,
and a combo audio jack.
Audio jack. Don't ever get rid of my audio jack. And it's just stunning. And we've got those next to the new Carbon X1.
Yeah, and that's using the same. So this is Intel's Lunar Lake technology, where it's system and memory on a chip.
Yes.
So because of that, you don't have to have a full-size system board. So the X1 Carbon's below 1 kilo now. When it was first sent to me, I thought it was a mock-up. I thought it was hollow. I turned it on, it's like, there's a computer in there.
It was 1.112 kilograms.
I think it was 1.1 and now it's 900 and something grams.
They've shaved over 100 grams.
And that's, the chassis is the same. It's purely because inside the system is basically what we think of normally as a CPU die, and it's everything on it.
It's really nice, I must admit. They are really nice laptops. And of course we've tried to elevate the experience with not just a laptop with a class leading architecture, but actually as more features and all.
That's right. So what we put on is these smart modes. Now typically, again, these modes, if you had them on a regular device, would be using up resource. So someone will go, well, I'm not going to use it because it's impacting my battery life. But because it's sitting on the MPU, it can do all this stuff with no sort of degradation. So there's a sort of privacy settings which can use the webcam to look if someone's looking over your shoulder, and it will blur the screen and things like that. It'll auto VPN if you're on a public Wi-Fi. There's wellness mode, again using the camera for posture and reminding people to take breaks. The particular one I like, there's a concentration mode, and you can typically. I was presenting the other day and you still managed to ping me on Teams, but you have to go in, turn off your Outlook notifications, do not disturb on Teams. This knocks everything off. So even if you've got Slack or other messaging platforms, everything's stopped. And if you're familiar with Pomodoro, the sort of 15 minutes of concentration or 10 minutes, you can set those kind of timers as well. So you don't forget to turn it all back on, because I've done that before. I'm not getting any emails today and I've realized I've shut it down. But you can even have websites that are distracting, and you list those to blacklist them while you're in that mode. So I find, I couldn't even procrastinate without sort of getting distracted. So I think that's going to be a great tool. But even the care thing as well, having a premium product, we said, well, how can we have premium care on there? And what it is smart care. You can have a live chat with an agent on a video chat. So you can say, look, can you help me? Don't be guided through things. So a real in-person white gloves level of support that go with the device.
And these are our UK support team, aren't they?
Yeah, in country as well.
They're really good team. And you're right. Can be very embarrassing when you get a message pop up and you're presenting to customers, depending on the message.
Yes. Are you still with those? No, don't say that.
Yes. But the feature I really like about Aura is and you have to set it up. Obviously, security is an issue, but you can set it up, and it has an ultrasonic sensor, and it knows that it can sense that you have a phone nearby because it can sense the shape of it. And if you just tap it on the side of the screen, if you set it up beforehand, it will instantly share the clipboard and share the functions of the phone. Will just literally pop up on the screen of the laptop. You can drag and drop files and photos, so you can if you're going out, take a quick picture on the phone, tap it on the side of the screen, and then copy the pictures into the laptop.
And once that association's made, every picture appears. The other thing about it is you can have the phone screen on the device, or you can use a tablet or a phone as a secondary display. So you think about even something like Slack, you might just want that. You don't necessarily need another monitor just for Slack. And someone's employer might not give them another monitor, but you just put your phone to one side and it's on there, but it's actually coming off the PC. But what I like about having the phone on the PC screen, there's quite a lot of applications we now use in work that are phone-based, and you need to look at them whilst in a meeting or working. But if you've got your phone out, it looks like you're playing on your phone, and you're not. There was an MP, a member of Parliament recently, was sort of called out by the press because there was a serious select committee thing, and it looked like he was playing on this. And he said, no, I was actually messaging one of the government lawyers to get an update. But that won't happen. That confusion if they were on their phone, you're sitting at your laptop, but you're actually controlling your phone. So I think that's going to be really useful. And the good thing we've done it for iOS and Android. I know we own Motorola, but we're aware there are other phone manufacturers out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we've probably witted on long enough. I mean, I guess the key takeaways from this is AI is not going anywhere. We've just made this 2.2 billion investment in R&D. We do feel it's the future, and education is absolutely the number. I mean, it's always been the number one priority for Lenovo. And we are the largest education supplier for IT products in the world, and AI is. It's not going to get rid of jobs in education. Hopefully, it's just going to save time and make teachers' lives easier.
Absolutely. And with that, devices at every level, for every price point, every stage of a child's education as well.
Absolutely. But it's going to be a really exciting year.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for your time, everyone.
Lenovo.